The weather's been perfect the last few days, which means it'll snow next week. Hello, I'm Riley Kavchuk.
And I'm Gwen. No need to fake tan anymore, Riley. The sun's made an appearance in Philly. You're watching LaSalle's home for the Explorers Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. We're back to bring you the LaSalle sports you know and love. But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3.
Number 1, the men's swimming team will be sending 2 of their top athletes to Atlanta at the end of the month to compete at the NCAA National Championships. Carter Perkins will compete in the 100-yard free, and Felix Jetbrack will compete in 3 events, the 50 free, the 100 fly, and the 200 fly.
Number 2, we celebrated National Women's Coaches Day, a day to recognize and thank women coaches for their leadership and impact in sports.
Number 3, our student athlete of the week is from the women's water polo team, Martina Bonet-Ciez, who made 10 goals, 3 assists, and 8 steals in 4 games at the Convergence tournament last week.
That's it for the top 3. Now let's see how our teams did in this week's recaps. The acrobatics and tumbling team picked up a big home win Wednesday night, defeating Presbyterian 245.720 to 236.135 inside Glacier Arena. The Explorers set a program best team score of 245.720 and also broke school records in 4 events, including the 34.800 in compulsory, 25.150 in toss, 50.700 in tumbling, and 80.320 in the team event. LaSalle pulled away late, winning 5 of the 6 heats in the tumbling event to take a lead before closing out the night with the 80.320 score in the team routine. Individually, Sophia Macau led the way with a 9.550 in the 6th element pass, while Michaela Kottman scored a 9.225 and Brooke Rosowitz added a 9.275 in their tumbling pass. The win marks LaSalle's 3rd victory in 4 meets this season.
The LaSalle's diving team competed at the NCAA Zone A Championships early this week, marking the final meet of the season for the Explorers. On the women's side, junior Tiffany Brown placed 70th in the 1-meter diving event with a score of 188.15. Freshman Lily Chandler delivered a strong performance on the platform, finishing 13th with a score of 394.3. For the men, senior Carter Randall placed 45th in the 1-meter event with a score of 219.35, while sophomore Calvin LeBlanc finished 34th with a score of 258.65. LeBlanc also competed in the 3-meter event, placing 24th after scoring 284.15.
The LaSalle women's water polo team participated in the Convergence tournament this past weekend, opening Friday with a close loss to Concordia University Irvine, 11-9. The scores were close throughout the match, with the Explorers trailing 6-5 at halftime and remaining equally contested. Nadia Azzopardi led the team in an effort with 4 goals and an assist. Martina Bonet-Ciez also added 3 goals and 1 assist, while at the goal, Lily Kirby had 12 saves and 2 steals. Coming back from the loss in the 2nd game on Friday, the Explorers dominated in a game over Fresno Pacific University, taking the victory 14-6. Samara Eschman led the charge, contributing 3 goals. Nadia Azzopardi and Grace Smith also added 2 goals each to the total. Lily Kirby held down at the net with 9 saves and 1 assist before Avery Rabago and Michaela Burrows took over in goal.
Back in the pool on Saturday, the team continued a strong effort in the tournament, beating Biola University 7-6. Martina Bonet-Ciez showed an impressive performance, earning a hat-trick, while Grace Smith, Kira Braun, Claire McLush, and Samara Esklim added a goal for the win. Kirby showed an impressive performance at the goal once again, tallying 13 saves. Saturday evening saw a narrow loss for LaSalle in the final match of the tournament, with Explorers going goal for goal with Cal State Fullerton before ultimately falling 11-10. Nadia Azzopardi led the charge with 5 goals and 2 assists, while Bonet Siez got yet another hat-trick, her second of the day. Ella Dice and Claire Durham also contributed a goal each, while Grace Smith recorded a team-high 3 assists. Kirby, once again at the net, recorded 11 saves. The result of the tournament still leaves LaSalle in a good position, putting the team at 9-3 for the season.
On Saturday, LaSalle's women lacrosse dropped a close game in its Atlantic 10 opener, falling 10-9 in overtime to George Mason on Senior Day at McCarthy Stadium. Senior attacker Emmy Waldron led the Explorers offense with 4 goals on 14 shots, including a go-ahead goal late in the fourth. Waldron surpassed 50 career goals and increased her season total to 27. Senior attacker Sam Klein contributed a hat-trick, converting all 3 free position attempts, while sophomore attacker Bree McLean added 2 goals. Sophomore midfielder Tess Waltrich dominated the draw circle with a career-high 7 controls. In goal, Mary Babbage kept LaSalle in the game with 11 saves on 36 shots. The game opened with George Mason taking a 4-2 lead in the first quarter, extending a 6-4 at halftime. The third quarter saw evenly matched play, but LaSalle still trailed entering the final frame. The Explorers rallied with a 3-0 run in the fourth, including 2 goals from Klein and another goal from Waldron to take a 9-8 lead with just over 3 minutes left to play. George Mason equalized at 8 seconds left, forcing overtime, where the Patriots scored the game winner to end a dramatic conference battle.
Moving on to last night, the team fell in a non-conference matchup, dropping a 15-9 decision to Kennesaw State at McCarthy Stadium. Kennesaw State got off to a fast start, building a 4-0 lead early and taking control of the game with a 7-2 advantage after the first quarter. The Explorers were held scoreless in the second quarter as the Owls extended their lead to 8-2 at halftime. Senior midfielder Dejah Shearer led the offense with 3 goals and 1 assist while adding 2 ground balls and a caused turnover. Senior attacker Molly Maloney also recorded a hat-trick, finishing with 3 goals on 4 shots. Junior midfielder Mia Riccatelli added 2 goals, scoring on both of her shot attempts. LaSalle showed fight in the final frame, outscoring Kennesaw State 6-2 in the fourth quarter and stringing together 4 straight goals in the final 8 minutes, but the comeback fell short. Unfortunately, they did not manage to win.
They could have won and been 1-0 in A10 conference, though. That's a shame it had to end like that with an overtime
Yeah, but
loss.
that's sport. Unless you're ready to go from the whistle, and it's so hard to make a comeback in the last quarter. So especially when you're in a deficit. But it was a good fight. It was late last night. I think they finished
a 1-point
8.
deficit on a team they never really got that close with before. So I feel like
it's probably also good for them to play against a team that's not in their conference. Maybe they can, try different tactics and, I don't know. Okay. So then swim and dives they concluded their season. But now, obviously, they're sending 2 athletes to nationals. So I've seen a few of them still train. But yeah, that's a good result for the dive team.
That's exciting. And then I feel like they start swimming right away again after all
Their
that.
season's short, but they train for a long time.
Yeah,
for
it's
short
training.
season.
The training's super long. And another thing, acro. I was at the meet. You were at the meet. We watched acro. Do we get it?
A little bit. It was funny because we both didn't realize we were at the acro.
No, we didn't.
But it was good. I enjoyed it.
It was really cool. It was nice seeing, because the way they did it, it was like they did the same thing, but both of them did it their way.
I like how they, how good they are for cheering for each other when there's someone I don't know, do they call it performing or doing the tumbling? All the rest of the team are kind of there watching and cheering and clapping and counting with when they do the stunts.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was very much like a team sport.
Big team effort.
Big team
effort. And it was a big team. I didn't expect, there was a lot of girls
They
on
had
there.
a lot more than the other team, didn't they?
They did, and I didn't.
But I kept seeing the same faces doing the same, were the leaders.
It's probably who's the most trained in it.
They were good. They were good.
It was crazy.
And then water polo, they had they had an intense game last night. We forgot to mention it, but against Villanova. I was there. It was, sadly, they lost with a very tactical passing at the end. I think it was 13-14 to Villanova, but it was a good fight. And then Martina was also very good. She's their key player.
But yeah, good for them. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll take to the court as basketball enters A10 tournaments.
We'll also visit the baseball field to see how this team has been doing this year. Stay tuned.
When a child in your life requires intensive care, their health fragile, their condition complex, certified acute care pediatric and neonatal nurse practitioners will give you the information and support you need to make the best decisions for your child, while providing the critical care your child needs. Trained to diagnose and manage life-threatening conditions and emergencies, they are trained to make a difference. Learn why at certifiednurses.org.
We put our trust in professionals with years of training to help us lead healthy lives. We rely on them to do their jobs with diligence and dedication, because if they don't, our lives are on the line. Clean water is essential to survive. 98% of fresh water lies underground, which must be accessed by trained groundwater professionals. One trained groundwater professional can ensure the health of an entire community. Don't take clean water for granted. Learn how to protect our water at groundwater.okstate.edu.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at cisa.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Welcome back. LaSalle women's basketball team extended its winning streak to 4 games with a 59-51 win over St. Louis in the Atlantic 10 Championship Thursday night at Henrico Sports and Events Center. The Explorers controlled the game and improving to 18-12 on the season. LaSalle took an early 15-12 lead and pulled away in the second quarter, holding St. Louis to 9 points and leading 31-21 at halftime. St. Louis closed the gap in the third, but LaSalle responded with quick scores and an early fourth quarter three-pointer to secure the win. Eris MacToon had 15 points and 14 rebounds. Ashley Connor led the team with 16 points and 8 assists, and Joan Quinn added 8 points. The Explorers forced 14 turnovers, grabbed 22 offensive boards, and scored 10 points on the fast break to control the game. Then, unfortunately, the team saw its Atlantic 10 championship run end Friday night, falling 70-51 to number 3 seed Richmond in the quarterfinals. The Explorers were outscored from the start to finish, never holding a lead, and closed the season with an 18-13 record. Richmond took control early with an 8-0 run. The Explorers trailed 18-12 after the first quarter, but a dominant second period by Richmond outscored LaSalle 23-9, extending their halftime lead to 41-21. Ashley Connor led LaSalle with 18 points on a 6-for-14 shooting, adding 5 rebounds, 5 steals, and 4 assists in 35 minutes. Junior Eris MacToon recorded her 13th double-double of the season with 13 points and 13 rebounds, along with a block. Sophomore Joni Quinn contributed 12 points and 3 steals in 32 minutes. LaSalle concludes the 2025-26 season at 18-13 and marking their first Atlantic 10 Championship quarterfinal appearance since the 2020-2021 season.
The LaSalle men's basketball team closed out its regular season with an 88-76 loss to rival St. Joseph's Saturday afternoon at Michael J. Hagan Arena. Including redshirt sophomore Rob Dackery led all scorers with 25 points on 8-for-14 shooting, including 4 three-pointers and 7 rebounds, marking his 6th 20-plus point performance of the season. 3 other Explorers finished in double figures. Graduate student Truth Harris had 13 points, sophomore guard Jaden Johnson and junior guard Eric Acker each contributed 12 points, with Acker also recording a team-high 3 steals. The Explorers fought through a competitive first half with 4 lead changes, shooting 48% from the field and holding a slim lead late in the period. The Hawks hit a last-second shot to take a 35-34 advantage into halftime. In the second half, St. Joe's pulled away with an efficient offensive attack, building a double-digit lead and securing the victory. Moving on to the start of the Atlantic 10 tournament, the LaSalle men's basketball team saw its 2025-26 season come to an end with a 99-80 loss to St. Bonaventure Bonnies in the first round of the Atlantic 10 Conference Championship at PBG Paints Arena on Wednesday. Redshirt sophomore guard Rob Dockery led the Explorers with a standout performance, finishing with 33 points and 10 rebounds and going 11 for 11 from the free-throw line. Dockery's 33 points marks the second most by the Explorers in Atlantic 10 history. Freshman guard Ashton Walker added 15 points, 6 assists and 5 steals, while student guard Truth Harris contributed 11 points and 3 steals. St. Bonaventure and LaSalle traded baskets early, but the Bonnies pulled away with a 10-0 run midway through the first half. The Explorers tried to respond in the second half, but the Bonnies extended their advantage to as many as 26 points with just over 5 minutes remaining. LaSalle was unable to close the gap as St. Bonaventure maintained a double-digit lead until the final buzzer. LaSalle finishes the season with a 9-23 overall record.
The men's baseball team traveled down to South Carolina on Friday, March 6th, facing Clemson University. The game started off strong with redshirt senior Chase Swain hitting a home run in the first, but it seems that was the only run the Explorers put up during the rest of the game as Clemson continued to score 14 runs with a score of 14-1. On Saturday, with a doubleheader, Clemson's defense was just too strong for the Explorers until finally in the bottom of the 6th inning, an unearned run error bringing in A.J. Juliana and Justin Swats scoring 2 runs, and in the top of the 8th with another error by Clemson, Daniel Perez scored in another run, and Alex Welston singling bringing in A.J. Juliana now with a score of 4-5. With Clemson scoring in every inning, the Explorers did not score off, finishing off with a score of 6-4. On Saturday again, Clemson scored right away in the first and scoring almost in every inning but in the top of the second. With a bunt, Kosei Suzuki scored in 1 run. And at the top of the third, Suzuki hit a double bringing in Chase Swain scoring a 2nd run. It wasn't until the 4th, Ryan Perez hit a 2-run home run, bringing the score back up to 4-8. By the 4th inning, Clemson put up 16 runs and neither team scoring any more runs after with a score of 16-4.
And on Sunday, the Explorers started off strong again when Chase Swain hit a home run to give the Explorers an early lead. The Explorers tried to continue their momentum when Austin Rue hit a 2-run home run, putting LaSalle ahead 3-2. Clemson responded back quickly by earning 9 runs in the 3rd inning. The Explorers' offense struggled and did not score for the remainder of the game, with the final score being 16-3. And on Tuesday, March 10th, the Explorers didn't go as far as to play against Villanova. In the first, Chase Swain came back and tripled, and Justin also launching a 3-run home run. This put the Explorers in the lead 4-0. The Explorers tried to keep us up being in the lead 6-1. Villanova fought back, tying the game 6-6 in the 5th inning. Welshans hit the 2nd home run of the game and put the Explorers back up 8-6. Both teams fought back, tying it again in the 5th. However, in the 6th, the Explorers took the lead again, with Giuliani scoring on a passed ball, putting the Explorers up again 10-8. But the Villanova came back with home runs in the 7th and putting a lead 14-10, beating the Explorers.
On Wednesday, March 11th, the men's baseball team faced Lafayette College here at Hank DeVincent Field. The Explorers bounced back with Lafayette scoring in the first. The Explorers bounced back in the bottom of the first with Carter Groen, Justin Suzuki, and Alec Welston each diving in runs, giving LaSalle a lead 3-2. Then in the 2nd inning, Carter Groen launched a grand slam, putting the Explorers ahead 7-4. With Ryan Perez and Carter Groen driving in runs and 3-run double putting the Explorers up 13-6. The Explorers still kept up when Daniel Perez came in with 2 more runs, now putting up a 16-6 lead. However, Lafayette did come back and score 4 runs in the 6th and 1 more in the 9th, but that didn't keep up with the Explorers, with the team winning 16-11.
Oh, I think we need a break.
I also went to the baseball game. I went there too. Same
God,
day.
look at you.
I know. Look at me go. I didn't stay the whole time.
You're a fan. You're a fan
I'm
of
a big
LaSalle.
LaSalle.
Finally, taking you 3 years to be a fan.
I know. I've always been a big LaSalle fan. I've always been a big LaSalle fan, as you can see.
No, but let's talk about basketball first. A bit sad about both teams. I wish that, well, the women still practicing because they do have, they could get invited in to play, but they find out on Monday.
Why? Is that
I think
for
it's
a
because
reason,
they've
or?
had, their streak has been good.
Oh, okay, wait, that's exciting
Yeah,
then.
so that's
I
why
did
they
not
can-
know that.
yeah.
I thought it was done.
No, they're not done yet.
I thought it was
So
done.
hopefully, but they seem optimistic. I was talking to Joni Quinn and she was saying how it's a bit frustrating because we want to know to make plans for spring break, but it's exciting to keep being able to have a chance to go again, especially with such a successful team right now.
Yeah, and they have been putting up the numbers. They have been making
I think that's why it's
new
so
conference
important.
records.
Yeah,
too.
that's why it's so important to have these unimportant games, getting them win because then
Right.
they're on your record, and then when you get the chance to maybe get invited in with how you've been playing.
Mm-hmm. And then the men's team, they lost.
Yeah, I think people were a bit I don't know. I don't think everyone was very optimistic about how they'd do, but I think they did. We all thought they would at least win one game, the first game, because we are seeded higher. But
You would hope so. You would hope so. But I don't know. I feel like they lost it. That's just how.
It's
don't know.
because
it's not just me, but
they've suffered a lot of injuries. So I think this team that they had planning to be at the A10s isn't the team they actually sent. They had to keep a lot of people home for rehab and recovery. So obviously it's not ideal setup for them, but I mean, I don't know. Better luck next time, I guess. I'm
next
not too
time,
sure.
hopefully they'll figure something out. And then baseball going down to Clemson, that's exciting for them. That's a big school. Clemson is a big sports school. Obviously, they are a new program.
Well,
they haven't played big schools all together as a team. No one was really.
I think we're seeing a little bit of what the baseball team's actually like. I think when they won the first few games, when they first started, everyone was like, oh, they're pretty good. And don't get me wrong, they're pretty good. But, when they're up against actual good teams,
yeah, exactly.
That's when you see the cracks and the weaknesses.
That's what it proved, because they haven't played big schools.
So
like
maybe
that.
they need to recruit some younger people and not them old people. Keep them so I don't know.
And they will be playing more big school games later on. That will be
it's
in their
nice.
schedule. They can't get away from it.
Yeah.
They're going to be seeing Clemson next year too, probably.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's part of what, and they have to adapt. They have to at least try. I don't know if they tried or not. I can't really tell. I didn't watch it, but
Was it a big turnout at the baseball game last night?
It was fun. We're
going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have all of this week's upcoming games. Stay tuned.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. That I know what you're going through. I know things aren't easy, but you still show up. I wonder if you know that we can get help. That we don't have to go through this alone. Let's see how far we can go. Love your mind.
Dear University of...
Thank you for your offer
to become student ID number 283471.
While I appreciate your desire
for my impeccable academic record,
I must decline the opportunity
to get a generic degree.
I've decided to tell my story.
To be a student,
not a statistic.
I wish you good luck in the future
as I embark on mine.
Welcome back. We have a busy week of Explorer sports, so here's what you have to look forward to. On Friday, March 13th, men's baseball will travel to Richmond to face Virginia Commonwealth University at 1:30 p.m. before continuing the series on Saturday at 1 p.m. and wrapping up the weekend on Sunday with another 1 p.m. first pitch. Also on Saturday, women's rowing will open its season at the Kerr Cup on the Schuylkill River, while women's water polo will take on VMI at Villanova at 9 a.m.
On Sunday, women's lacrosse will travel to Washington, D.C. to face George Washington at 1 p.m. On Wednesday, March 18th, women's lacrosse will host Rhode Island at 1 p.m., while men's baseball will be back on the road at Lafayette College with a 3 p.m. start. Well, no show next week because of spring break. What are you doing?
Oh, my spring break's plans got changed, so I'll be home with my dog.
Chilling in the sun. No existent sun.
Right, but I'll be tan next week, watch.
Nice.
I'll be tan still. What do you got planned?
Bakeries and coffees in the city.
That's it?
That's it.
All week long?
All week long.
Okay.
I'm going to make loads of TikToks.
Okay, that's exciting. I can't wait. That just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorers play, be sure to tune in next week the next week after that for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Instagram at SportsLine LTV. We welcome you to send your thoughts and suggestions there.
For our entire SportsLine team, I'm Riley Kapchuk.
And I'm Gwen. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the games.